Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into Grand Voyage Whiskey Peak Level 1 with no COBY, no 6+ Dogstorm, and no 6+ Crocodile. So, this is a bit of a weird one with this Grand Voyage. They have released Chopperman missions for Whiskey Peak, as well as the local sea monster over at Fuchsia Village. So if you go up to this Chopperman request, hit the special tab, you'll see that there's these two Grand Voyage missions. Now, the first one, as I mentioned, is the Whiskey Peak one, and then the second one is actually for the local sea monster over at Fuchsia Village. Now, I believe this is why they gave us the Shanks crew copy in the Kazuna boxes, but if you've already completed any of the Fuchsia Village stages, all you actually have to do is go over to Whiskey Peak and clear level 1, and you'll get both of them to proc. Now, if you haven't done Fuchsia Village, obviously you're not going to get that to proc, but in today's video, we're going to dive into Whiskey Peak, and we're going to get both of them done for you guys that actually have already completed Fuchsia Village. Now, I will do a separate video on level 1 for Fuchsia Village, probably after this one, maybe tomorrow, something like that. But I feel like most players have done the local sea monster level 3, because it is obviously the very first Grand Voyage. We can basically clear it with 5 units now, and it's actually a lot easy. But Whiskey Peak is a little bit different. Obviously, it came out yesterday. It was cracked in about 3 hours, which is really, really good timing. But the investment to get level 5 done is absolutely insane. You need to speed to level 7 turns or less. You need a VV on the crew. You need a full strength cerebral team, and your cost has to be below 560. So at the moment, from what we've seen, there's really not much wiggle room for the team. But I have put together a run for level 3 that doesn't utilize COBY. Unfortunately, like 6+ Crocodile, 6+ Dogstorm, they are pretty much needed for above level 3. But today, the focus is level 1. And the team we're using looks like this. Now, as you guys can see, I have taken off COBY, I've taken off Crocodile, and I've taken off Dogstorm for you guys. So if you don't have the 6+, you don't have the level limit breaks, or you don't have the anniversary exclusive, you should be okay. I have replaced the ship as well. I am not using the Zunesha. I am utilizing the Whale Shark ship. You can basically just run whatever ship you guys want that is going to give you the most amount of damage. I would recommend bringing a ship that makes recovery orbs matching. That's definitely going to help out on turn 2. But if you guys don't have a ship that makes recovery orbs matching, then I guess you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place anyway. As for the friend captain, we're just going to bring another VV. Running double VV for this quest just works so damn nicely because of the ability to get a 3-turn orb buff, as well as extending that for 2 turns. If you guys have level limit break 5 Dogstorm, you can just slide him in on the team over Orochi. If you have level limit break 5 Crocodile, you can slide him in the team over Okiku. And if you have COBY, you can then slide him in the team over Mihawk and Perona. But if you don't have any of those, don't stress. Stump's got you back. That's the team. Those are sports. Let's dive on in. Now, as you can see, I am utilizing 2 very interesting supports in Herculesan and Law. Now, those 2 units actually give you damage reduction to Dex-based characters, which means the Dex units, which this entire quest is, are going to do a little bit less damage to you. Now, I don't know if that triggers for turn 1, but the idea of me actually doing this is that on turn 1, you are going to take some death damage. Utilizing the Orochi special to remove the stun cuts your HP by 80%. This is an absolute massive HP cut. Massive. Also, you do not need the Rage support on VV. You can just replace her with stats, bring some more damage reduction for Dex-based characters, and that should work out pretty hunky-dory. But as I mentioned, Orochi's going to cut your HP by 80%. Now, you do have pinch healing on Vivi and Stussy, so I would probably tap with them just to build up some more HP gains. But as you guys can see there, you are going to take a bit of damage. So if you do have less investments, I would highly recommend utilizing those supports. I'm pretty sure they activate. They might not. If not, just bring, like, I don't know, HP supports, but either or, it should do the trick. On turn 2, you get Strength Orbs turn to Recovery. So that's why I didn't swap with Mihawk Perona on turn 1. Because if you do go in as Perona with a Sight Orb, you actually get Paralysis slots. Imp get turned to Super Block slots. It's very, very annoying. But because we got Strength Orbs, we got Recovery slots. And that's where I mentioned your ship making Recovery Orbs matching is very, very valuable. If you have Zunesha, you can run it. It doesn't need to be level 12, but if you have the Whale Shark ship level 12, it's obviously going to be better. Or any ship that makes Recovery Orbs matching, that's going to be a lot nicer. I don't believe anyone on this team has the Sailor ability to make Recovery matching. The team might. I honestly didn't check. But you also get hardest hit perfects, as well as recovery turn to damage on this stage. This is where we're going to switch with our Mihawk Corona unit. That's going to give us a bit of healing, plus it removes one of the recovery orbs, and then we can basically just easily kill moving on to the next stage. On the next stage, we have, I think it's like Miss Mary, I don't even know who this unit is, Miss Monday, something like that. They give you Despair, and after level 1, there's actually a block orb barrier here, which is absolutely ridiculous to deal with. But on level 1, it's not, so it makes it very, very easy. Mihawk Corona are going to apply the negative effect. It gives you a guaranteed orb for Mihawk Corona as well, so that way you can hit pretty hard. We are going to try and take down one of these back units first, and then we can move into Miss Monday and try and do as much damage as we can. Beautiful stuff. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, you can actually eat those recovery orbs if you want to get more healing. On the 4th stage, you come up against Luffy and Zoro, and when you actually move to the 2nd stage of this fight, you get like a pretty big like death hit. So you do have to be very, very careful there. As for this particular stage, there is a damage limiter and 1 turn of resilience. The 1 turn of resilience actually helps out a really great deal. And the reason it helps out a real great deal is because you do not want to kill either Luffy or Zoro here. You need to keep both of them alive, and you need to kill them at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a super type of our Captain Vivi. Use both the Vivi specials again to get the 5-turn orb buff and increase it, do all that fun stuff. Switch with Mihawk Corona so we get the negative effect. And as you guys can see here, we have just like we have a shit ton of damage, man. Like it's so much damage that we're absolutely fine. If you use a regular attack boost on this stage, the enemy has an interrupt. Plus, they also have an attack down if you use any orbs that aren't type orbs. So very, very annoying stuff. So G-orbs, 1-0 slots, rainbow orbs, all that fun stuff that would stereotypically probably do a little bit more damage than what the regular orbs are doing. You actually can't use. On the 2nd turn, Zoro's actually going to lock your slots, which actually turns out to be a good thing for us. But then he puts up a barrier for 5 strength orbs. Lucky for us, we have 5 strength orbs, and then we can just use Mihawk Corona to kill Luffy. The downside with Mihawk Corona is you actually can't swap on that turn. You get silence on your sailors, so you have to basically tap with the Psy Orb. Nevertheless, we have the orb buff anyway, so we have plenty of damage there, and it's A-okay. On the final stage against Mr. 5, and I think it's Miss Wednesday. Yeah, I think that's Miss Wednesday. They give you a full bot of Dex Orbs, and then they give you that Super Orb lock. But they only change strength to Dex. Because we have a Psy Orb, we get a Super Bomb slot on Mihawk and Corona. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because this team has so much overkill damage that it's really not a problem. Because there's 2 enemies, Mihawk and Corona actually give you the guaranteed conditional buff, which works exceptionally. Plus, they can use the Doflamingo support for that 0.5 increase in damage. We then have the super type of Vivi to give us an attack boost. We have Stussy for the color affinity buff. Stussy's removing Despair as well throughout the run. This Stussy, honestly, you have to level her up for level 5, so spend those blue tickets, boys, because you're definitely going to want that. Finally, we have Okiku, the rare recruit. She's a free spirit character, not a cerebral, so but she's on a low cooldown, 12-turn cooldown. So you can get your special ready by the final stage, and she's going to turn Dex Orbs into favorable. With that, you have an attack boost, you have an orb buff, but very small chain addition. You have a chain multiplier buff, color affinity, type orbs matching, and then you also have the multiplicative buff that gets inflicted on turn 1. Now, as you can see here, Mihawk Corona with a super bomb orb can kill 1 unit. So as you can see, there's plenty of damage for the other unit. Unfortunately, this team is not going to work past level 1, so don't spam the comments, say, hey, Stumps, this is to level 2, but don't stress, I do have a level 3 team available for you guys that will be coming out a little bit later down the line. But if you enjoyed the video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.